Hi everyone, Marisa Stone here with Simon Says Social and the Systems Lounge, and I want to welcome you today to the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit. And I am super excited to have you here today because this is where you get to learn all about the systems that our speakers are using to get things done. And today I am stoked to have LJ Thomas here. She is going to talk with us all about the tools you need to reach your next level. So let me tell you a little bit about LJ. LJ is an author, a business owner, a graphics designer, an editor, a grant writer, and just in case that's not enough, a wife and a mother. She loves helping business owners and nonprofits get their businesses up and running. She also writes business plans, feasibility reports, action plans, all sorts of other types of reports for companies, and even provides, get this, authorship services. LJ began editing and publishing back in the early 80s. She has several books in publication and has been writing and editing for over 35 years. You need a publisher, she's your person. Her publications can be found in regional magazines, newsletters, and websites everywhere. LJ is careful, though, not to overload herself with work, since she loves doing a variety of things. Her plate is always full as the co-owner of Jamala Jazz. Is that how I pronounce that?
It's actually Jamala Jazz.
Jamala Jazz, the co-owner of Jamala Jazz and creator and host of the Purely Positive Show. If you guys haven't seen that one, you got to check that out. LJ holds several academic degrees and it currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia. LJ, welcome to the summit. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! So let's get into this. One of the things that I absolutely love is when we start talking tools, and I love the title of your talk today. And I know that we are going to really help a lot of women out who are really struggling with this. So let's just begin at the beginning. What are we really talking about when we say that we're trying to reach the next level? What does that even mean?
Well, there are varying definitions of the next level.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the next level is, okay, when I reach a economic status, when I'm making, say, $50,000 more per year. Or for some people, it is when I reach a certain milestone in relationship to clients or customer interaction. So unfortunately, there is a different definition for each individual person, especially entrepreneurs. And for women, that's even more broad because women hold different things in priority than everybody else, you know.
Yes.
For me, the next level was I wanted to make sure that I provided for my clients all the things that I was not given when I started out in business and when I started doing things for myself. And so that's my next level. It could be different for you or anyone else.
So as entrepreneurs, why should we even be concerned about the next level if it's really kind of all over the board?
Well, there's a very good reason. The first and most important of is this. In one word, stagnation. You don't want to bottom out, flatline, or stay in the same place all the time, especially if you're in business. There comes a point in time where you have to say, okay, I have a coffee shop. I'm consistently making X amount of dollars per day, but another coffee shop moves in across the street and you're now in competition with that particular coffee shop. So if you are bottomed out and you're not concerned about upping your game, so to speak, guess who's not going to be there anymore after a while?
Right.
So that's why next level is so important.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense. I work with my clients a lot on avoiding this, what I call spinning your wheels. And that's exactly what you're talking about. You're not really moving. You're staying in one spot. And that's not really accomplishing your long-term goals or your long-term dreams, right?
Exactly. So when a person is, for instance, I tell my clients all the time, there are things that you can do that will help you. There are things that you can do that are going to hinder you. Right. What you have to do is you have to sit down and say, look, these are things I'm good at, the classic SWOT analysis. Figure out the things that you're good at, the things that are threats, the things that you're not good at, blah, 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 blah. And then you have to say, okay, this is what I can actually work on and improve on. And you have to know what these things are so that you are able to put yourself in a position to actually get to that next level, whatever that next level is for you.
Right, right. Absolutely. So another one of the things that you work on your clients with is realizing their goals. Now, how is realizing your goals different from goal setting or like vision boarding? We hear a lot about people doing vision boards. How are those things different? Or are they?
Well, a vision board is nice. I actually love the idea of vision boards. I don't have one.
Yeah.
I don't have one because to me, my goals aren't visual. Most people say, well, if you see it, then you strive for it. That doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to type it out, put it on a list, and say, this is what I'm going to do. But when I do that, I actually say, okay, this is what I want to do by X date. I go ahead and put a long term and a short term. And then I actually make out my plan. Okay, this is what I have to do to get to that particular goal. And this is how long it's going to take me. And actually that's setting my actual goal and putting my plan together for it. So I kind of do the same thing all in one sitting, but I'm a very, what do you call that? A very overly organized person.
I actually love what you just said because, there's a lot of people out there that vision boards don't work for. And you kind of hit the nail on the head just then when you said, yeah, they don't work for me. I have to actually write it down or type it out or have it in some sort of tangible written format. And I know we're going to talk about that more later on as we get into this interview, but I love that you say vision boards don't work for everybody and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they don't. I love the idea of them, but it just does not work for me. And I hear so many people say, you're missing out. You don't have a vision board. Not really. I just have a different system. Different things work for different people.
Exactly. And that's the important part, right? I'm a firm believer in the best system for you is the one you're actually going to use.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit. You kind of alluded a moment ago into this idea of goal setting. Why is goal setting so important for being able to reach your next level?
Well, I'm going to say it this way. If you don't set a goal, what are you working towards?
Yes.
You don't know. If you don't know what you're working towards, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's like when you're in high school, your parents don't want you to use the car every Friday and Saturday night to go out. You get tired of using their car. You got a part-time job. So what do? You save your money so you can get your own car.
Yep.
You set a goal.
Yep.
Your goal is to have your own car. Why do you want your own car? So you can go do what you want to do the times that you want to do it and not have to be constricted to the rules of your parents. So goal setting in business is the same thing. It's just a different application, but it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. So another thing you work with your clients on is planning. So how, kind of clear this up for me, how is goal setting different from planning?
Most people will set a goal and they'll do this. They'll say, well, next year I want to take a vacation for a whole month out of the year. Okay. You set a goal, but you didn't plan how to get there.
Yes.
That's the difference between the two. Yeah, you know what you want to do. You know what the end result is going to be, but how are you going to get there? Do you need to increase your productivity at work as far as the revenue that you're going to have coming in? Do you need to delegate out more work to other people? What is it that you have to do in order for you to be able to reach that goal? Do you need to work towards doing that stuff 11 months out of the year and then take that 12th month off? Or is it something that you can do in quarters? You have to sit down and say, okay, I need to do this, and this in order to get here so that I can get there to the end goal, which is your goal.
And that makes so much sense. So really your plan is made up of the strategic actions you will take to accomplish the goal, right? Exactly. So you can't just set the goal and say, okay, I'm going to go do this without having a plan. I think there's a quote in there somewhere, isn't there? If you don't know where you're going, there's no telling where you'll end up or something.
Exactly. And the thing about it is a lot of people get intimidated by strategic plans. They think, oh my God, I don't know how to do one. I don't know what it is. Actually, you do.
Yeah.
You do. Everybody knows how to do a strategic plan. They may not understand the application of it, but everybody knows how to do it. Every time we sit down and say, I'm getting married, you're creating a strategic plan because you're planning that wedding.
And that wedding is not going to automatically happen.
Exactly. You know, it's the same. They're the same principles. You just have a different application for them.
Right, right. And that makes so much sense. Very cool. So another thing you work with your clients on is this idea that success takes work. Can we talk about that for a moment and why it is important to realize this, and this is an important conversation that we all need to be having?
I get that question all the time, and people look at me really strange when I say, if you don't work, you'll fail. And it's a very simple process. It's a very simple thought process, basically. If you want to be successful at anything, you're going to have to work at it. If a child wants to have their shoes tied and they don't want their parents to do it all the time, what do they have to do? They have to learn how to tie those shoes themselves. So it's the same process. It's the same principle. In order for me to be successful, I can't expect it to just drop in my lap like an anvil.
Right.
I have to do whatever it takes for me to be successful. That, of course, is different for different people. But the fact of the matter is, everything that you want to do in life that is going to be worth it to you is going to take work. You didn't marry the girl of your dreams just by watching her walk by.
Yep.
You had to put in some work. You had to meet her. You had to date her. You had to spend some money on her, you know, just a variety of different things. It took some work. And so it's the same thing with being successful. In order to achieve that, you're going to have to put in some work. It's different for different people. It may be a lot of physical work. It may be a lot of mental work. It may take a lot of research. No matter what it is, it's still going to be work. And for each of us, the level of success is, like I said, different, but it's your success that matters. And so it's what you want to do in order to reach that goal in order for you to be successful.
Mm-hmm. And what you're talking about makes so much sense to me. I think that we live in a very strange time, and that everybody can be, you know, Facebook or Instagram successful, and it's all these overnight successes, and you hear about all these internet gurus who have made $1 million overnight. Well, that overnight success actually took 26 years to get there. Like, just because they're showing up today and they're showing you what they've accomplished doesn't mean they didn't have to learn to crawl before they walk and jump on that bike and ride it, even though they were falling down every other, you know, pedal, right? Until they figured out how to keep it balanced. So I think we live in kind of a strange world where there's all these appearances of success, but nobody shows you the back end of what it really takes to be successful.
Exactly. And my husband is a musician, and he says all the time, you know, you have to pay your dues in the industry.
Yes.
That means before you are on a hit album with somebody, whatever, you may have been on the chitlin circuit for 30 years, you know, but that was you paying your dues. You learned a whole lot doing that. You know, you learned from your mistakes and you learned from your successes as well. But like you said, eventually it looks like you're an overnight success, but that's not really the case. You've been at it for 30 years.
Right. So keep in mind, guys, if you are struggling with something and you're really trying to get this, you know, this thing accomplished, it's not unusual for this to take a while. And, you know, try not to get discouraged. Try to dig in deeper and really work hard on it. And it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how much time it's going to take you to get there. Wouldn't you agree with that, LJ?
I agree with that 100%. You know, I read a quote on Instagram, I think it was last month or so, that said basically some of the inventors, before they had that one success, they invented a whole lot of stuff and failed.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, it didn't pop off or whatever you want to call it. So we have to look at things that way. We have to realize the first time is not going to be that time that we get it right automatically. It's going to take some trial and error. And even if it takes trial and error, you still learn something. You did not fail.
That is true.
Gain some experience, you gain some knowledge, even though it wasn't a success by someone else's definition or even yours. You learned something. So we just have to remember that and realize that you're not going to be perfect the first time. That rarely happens.
Right. It doesn't happen. I don't know of a time that's happened.
Right. Right.
And that really leads us into my next question. So let's say I've identified my goals. I've put together a plan to, to really work on those goals and make them happen, but I'm still not feeling like I can do this. What would you say to that entrepreneur who's really struggling with this mindset that no matter what I try, I fail at this?
That is a direct reflection of self-confidence. And unfortunately, there is no magic pill to give self-confidence.
Right.
I would personally say, been there, done that, struggle with it at least monthly, sometimes depending on how I feel daily. I will say it involves thinking positively. If you need to type out a little note and put it on top of your computer that says, look, I can do this. I'm working. I'm confident. I can handle this. I can accomplish these things. Then do that. Some people need to see it. Sometimes you have to listen to positive messages. Sometimes you have to get a pep talk from somebody. It's different things for different people, but you have to realize the feelings of negativity are not a bad sign that you can't do anything. Yes, you can do it. You just have to find a way to encourage yourself. Believing in yourself is one thing, but receiving encouragement is something completely different. And once you find that thing that helps you get that encouragement, then you'll be able to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to gain that confidence to push forward and move on and be that success that you want to be.
And don't just leave that to chance, right? I mean, that's something that if you know you're really struggling with this and deep down inside you're really feeling, oh my gosh, I always tell my kids, feelings aren't facts. You know your stuff. You're really good at what you do. Let's figure out the process that is going to be required to get you there. And one of the speakers in last year's summit, when she put together her to-do list every day, she added 3 items to every to-do list for each day that were what she called pass, no, fail. No matter what happened that day, she was going to accomplish those 3 things and they were going to turn out really well. And so sometimes by chunking what you're trying to accomplish and breaking it down so that it's doable and it's not quite so overwhelming can actually help you to change your mindset, because now you got 3 things on your list that are pass, no, fail every single day, right? So
that's a great point.
That was a great tip last year, and a lot of women picked that up and started running with that. That was fabulous.
That is invaluable, because I know for me, I do my to-do list. It's unconventional according to other people, but it works for me. So when I do my list, there are some things, it might be something as simple as, okay, drink a cup of hot green tea.
Right. Right.
But that's, I can do that, and I've accomplished that goal. And every little tiny step builds my confidence, especially if I have a project that, like you said, I know I can do it. I got this. I can do it with my eyes closed, but I'm feeling a little apprehensive about it. That little thing helps give me a little boost. And every time I do that little stuff, I feel better and better. And next thing you know, I've accomplished what the thing I was apprehensive about.
Exactly. So use those little tricks and help yourself to kind of get out of that slump and get out there and accomplish, right? So right. I know we're going to dive a whole lot deeper into this concept in the next interview, but another piece that you work with your clients on is organization. And we've alluded a little bit to your organizational skills just a little bit ago. How does organization and being organized impact all that we've discussed today?
Well, number one, that goes into the planning. You can't you can set a goal, but you can't plan for your goal without being organized.
Right.
It requires you to say, hey, I have to get up in the morning. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to take a shower. I have to come out. I have to brush my teeth and put on my makeup and everything. Why? Because I want to be presentable when I go to meet this client at 2 o'clock,
Right.
at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you actually have set a plan in order to meet that client.
Right.
You have to be organized in order to do that.
Yeah.
And though it looks like, oh, well, that's not a part of it, you don't realize it, but you have organization in everything that you do in life.
Mm-hmm.
Organization is a matter of project management. That concept is in every single thing we do.
Yeah.
Everything we do. They're little projects, but they're projects nonetheless.
Right.
You know, if you're going to bake a cake, what do? You get your ingredients together and you prepare the oven and do all that. That's the project.
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're doing that project, you have to be organized in order to accomplish it. Sure, your cake might fall. If you
We don't wish that upon you, though.
Exactly. If you made the cake, whether it falls or not, you have actually accomplished that goal, you know. So you have planned a project and you could not have done it without being organized. The organization was to put everything together. So while we live our lives and we go about things and we're so busy with everything that we do, those little moments where we say, okay, I need to do this or I need to do that, that's how you're doing your organization, and that's how you are planning to reach your goals, and that's how you are living your life. And though there are some people, I hate to say this, but there are some people who live life by the seat of their pants.
Right.
They have no organization. They're late for everything. They're never prepared for anything. You ask them a question, they can't answer it because they never think about anything.
Right.
Those are people who are completely unorganized. And unfortunately, if you practice that, you're practicing failure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just a reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
But those people who are thinking about things and making lists, whether it be mentally or on paper, and looking at ways to accomplish the things that they want to do, those are the people who are organized. Those are the ones who are going to succeed.
Yeah.
At whatever it is.
I think that's really important what you said, is that this is really a part of setting your goals and planning the strategy to achieve those goals. Organization helps you to bring all that together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, without organization, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And the thing about it, we don't even realize that we use it.
Right. Exactly. Wow. This has been absolutely amazing, LJ. And I know we are at the end of this interview and I can't believe it because it doesn't feel like we've been talking that long.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, how can people reach out to you if they want to work with you or they want to maybe access some of your resources? How can they reach out to you?
They can access my resources on my website, www.azoral.org. That's ASORAL.org. You can send me an email using the contact form. I will be more than happy to talk with you. You can hit me on Twitter. You can reach me on Facebook at LJ Thomas. Yeah, LJ Thomas. I had to remember because I have more than one profile. So, and you can find me on Pinterest as well.
Wonderful. Guys, those buttons and those links will be below this video. Definitely click on those. Reach out to LJ and talk to her a little more about the idea of these tools that are going to help us to reach our next level. For those of you who are part of the All Access Pass, stick around because we are going to dive much, much deeper into these tools to reach your next level with LJ Thompson in just a few minutes. If you've not yet gotten your All Access Pass, simply click on the button below and grab that now. Inside the All Access Pass, you'll not only get all of the live sessions inside the summit, but you'll also get lifetime access to all these deeper dives we're doing with each one of these speakers, which is absolutely amazing information. You do not want to miss this one. LJ, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, you are more than welcome. It was such a pleasure, and this went by so fast. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Okay, guys, we will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.